What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today it's the 21st of January, Wednesday, and I'm going over the price action on Nasdaq 100, looking at the trades that I took today and the moves that actually played out. There were quite a number of opportunities. Pretty large range day, pretty volatile day today, But yeah, didn't get to capitalize on the moves as I would have liked to do. But regardless, we still give thanks. Ended the year with a little loss, but think about 20 something dollars lost today. And didn't really trade. I tried to take a sell at one point in time and right here, and I got stopped out. But let's go over the higher time frame, starting out with the 4-hour time frame. See what we look like. Let's see if I can load back this template a little bit better. Default. So this is what we look like on the 4-hour time frame. So pretty much came into this demand zone down here, and this is where we're rallying from on all the indices. So this one, NAS 100 took out that low and it came into a fair value gap. US 30 came into the tip of the demand, and we're rallying up currently. So we have this demand right here, just touched it to the tip, and see we're going up right now. So currently we seems like to be heading back for the all-time highs. Don't know if we get another reversal today, as in tomorrow, Thursday, but I seen a little bit better price action this week than actually last week. It doesn't look so bad. I don't know if it's because I'm just looking at it in hindsight or but today we sold off overnight again, continued selling off, and then by the time we got into New York, we did a beautiful turtle soup here, sweeping these lows and then now racing back higher. So that is on the 4-hour time frame. So the daily candle right here actually closed taking out the previous day's low, and we close strongly above the previous day's high, actually even above. So this is Wednesday, so we close above Monday and Tuesday's high. Went all the way back up here, but we had a little bit of a pullback during the PM session. Let me show you the 50-minute as how we moved. So this is where we opened, traded down, went back up. By the time we created the midnight open, we started selling off again, and this is where we took out all of these lows. So let me zoom in a bit. So we took out all of these lows right here, and then now we rallied up. So this was this morning during late London going into New York, and then we rallied up like this, came back down, and then we went back up in the PM session. So some decent moves, some quick moves. This was a pretty decent buy up, but I wasn't a part of it, and I can't even complain. It is what it is. So let me go down to the lower time frame and try to show you some of the more precise moves that took place today. So I'm going to actually show you on MT5 and trading view. So this is the MT5. See, I still have the risk to reward tool here. I was mapping out this trade this morning. I took a partial from the swing that I was holding. So the profit kind of just reduced back down to basically nil. I was floating almost $50 with a little 0.6 or something like so, but I was floating like over 700 points from the sell-off. Now I was mapping out this trade this morning. I was actually going to take this buy right here this morning when I had gotten to work somewhere around here. I was looking at this thing and I should have taken this buy. As I don't remember if it's actually here or here. I think it was around here that I was saying this looks like we could reverse from here, but I hesitated, didn't take the buy, and it ended up costing me, because even if I had entered like right there, setting the stops at the low, I didn't have to give it such a wider stop, but I didn't trust it. So even if I had given it to like right here, risking $120, I would have caught to this high 1%, and to the higher the day, all the way up here, it would have been over a 2%, actually a 2.5% gain. And to the PMIs, it would be over almost 3.5%, before we pull back in the late part of the session. But it is what it is, and that's just risking $100, and that would have been a decent lot size. So even if I had put like 1/4%, that could easily be 6%, 0.5%, that could be a 13% gain, and 1%, that could actually be a 27% gain to the amount of points that we actually moved today. I can't even fit it on one chart, but it is what it is. I wasn't expecting this clean move today, but looking back at this, where is the magic keys? Looking back at this, like, we had several very interesting moves. So after we sold off in London coming down, like we form a turtle soup here, I was expecting us to come back and run these lows, but on the higher time frame, we created a larger turtle soup, running the lows from the previous day and the overnight session, and then we just decided to just buy up. So this was the entry right here. I would have literally got the low of the day, and then we had this other one right inside this macro right here. This was right around 9 a.m. and this is when I got up, because I just locked down the laptop and get up, because I was right at work and I was just chilling looking at this thing. So right here, even here, was another entry for the 9:52, well, 8:52 to 9:10 macro. We got this entry, and then even over here. So this was one entry, and then using this as a order block, we got an entry right in the 9:30 there about. I think I took a sell and got instantly stopped out. Show you this tree. Yeah, I took a sell right here thinking that we were going to come back down a bit, but the objective had already been met because we ran the previous daily low, and I was hesitant too because Trump was talking at Davos. So they were talking about trade deal and all of that, and that's when I decided, you know what, let me just leave this thing alone. I don't want to, you know, take an unnecessary risk and blow the account. But this was a beautiful entry, and even 10 a.m. we had a nice entry here for the 10 a.m. macro for a little scalp long before pulling back. And even after we came back into the order block right here and got a nice little buy up. We had a sell here also and a sell here, so we're going to show you on trading view what those look like. So let me start from over here. So I was looking at Asian session last night, and this was a nice little buy trade. We had a little pull back here before we started selling off. This was also another one here to catch these sells. We had another sell entry right here as well. We had another sell entry right here, 1 to 13 risk to reward. But if you want to be safe and put the stop even above the highs up here, this could still be a 1 to 6 trade. And these are some of the trades that I would love to be catching, even though it's 141 points still, so that's a decent trade. But you know, those are some precision entries that I would love to be capitalizing on. And then now this is what I was looking at this morning. So we had this buy entry right here. Stops would have to be here. I was looking at this sell, but I was looking at this, and this was the time when the volatility was coming into the market. Trump started to talk right around 8:30 there about, and I decided against entering. So I hesitated because I didn't want a spike down and got taken up. That was probably risk and done. But we came down, respected this lower day order block. This is a minor low. This is a market maker buy model here, but I didn't recognize that in real time. So we also had an entry right at the 950 to 10, 850 to 910 macro, and another entry inside the macro here, and this pullback pushed up here, and then now right this is 9:30 right here when the volatility came in, and this is when we started to push up. So we came back down, respected this little order block here, was rejecting from this level, but came into this, and we could have gotten a buy from this order block using my entry technique, or we have a fair value gap right here that got inverted, so we'd have possibly gotten into the trade all the way up here. So let me show you a more conservative entry would have been all the way up here when that candle closed. Stops below here. A bit of a wide stop, but still a decent entry, and you still catch 1 to 4 on that trade. Decent 1 to 4 trade. Another entry would have been here after we traded through this fair value gap. This would have been inside the macro. And even, let me show you, because these are some good moves. Depending on how aggressive you want to enter, even here could have been an entry using this as a breaker block right here. So breaker block, entry right there. Nice little breaker block entry right there. Breaker block, and even trading through this would have created a minor change in the state of delivery and the higher time frame. Maybe on like the 15-minute or so, it would have been more apparent. And it's right inside this 950 to 1010 macro. Now, as of recent, I've been noticing that this 950 to 1010 macro doesn't give us a clean pullback, but we're in a consolidatory range, you know. So the market not necessarily pulling back to equilibrium most times. So when we did this pullback, it's inside the macro, and we like this is where the 10 a.m. candle formed, and this was the initial wick. So this was the low of the 10 a.m. candle, and then we rallied all the way up to close at the highs, all the way up here. So this would have been another decent push from right there. A great push from right there. Easy, let's say 1 to 6 push, 1 to 6 push from this 10 a.m. candle, and this would have been like a 45-minute trade. Then this candle now right at 11 a.m. during this macro, we kind of move sideways, but this was a nice little inversion and an entry right here for some sells coming down. So if you're actually reading and watching price action, this could have been an entry right here, or retesting this, or this fair value gap would have been an entry right there, because we traded up into the new week opening gap from Sunday when we kind of gap down, and that is when we started to sell off. Some like this was all the while during news, so we sold all the way down, came back down to here, and this could have easily been another 1 to 7 trade, and this also is another 1 to 7 entry right here. So two decent entries right there. Another one would have been right here, using this as a fair value gap that we traded back into, and we could have caught a little scalp sell off if you're using FVGs for your entries. Beautiful sell off right there, right there, a nice sell off. Then now during this macro, this is during lunchtime, we kind of move sideways, but we had also a fair value gap inversion right inside of this macro here. We traded back and forth through it, but this could have been a little scalp going up there, coming back down. If you had your stops below here, then you could have been in this trade. And then now also using this as a order block right here, during the next macro we had another entry right here. So one here, one here. So two entry opportunities. This is an inversion entry, and this is my type of entry. Even say right there. This one could have gotten a bit tighter stop below the low here. This one is a bit wider, but regardless, if you're confident and you're holding this trade so that we're maintaining the low of the day, because we traded all the way back down into the gap. So this would have been the new day opening gap from in between Tuesday and Wednesday. So from the overnight, and then now by the time we got into the PM, we opened this 4-hour candle right here, traded back down into this fair value gap, and then we took off again to the upside. Some type of news release I think came out again, I think from the CM Davos speech. This fair value gap held us, and this was a nice trade to end the day. And this happened in less than about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes from we took off. So depending on where you got in, this would have been a beautiful trade going right up, right up. So we had that one right there, and then now we had a little sell off to pretty much end the day right here. So we traded up back into the new week opening gap, and then now sold off after. So this could have been a little sell to end the day, but not so much. But the main one would have been the buy. So today we got equal opportunities to buy and sell, and this market rallied. This is 360 points in less than half hour based on where you entered. If you entered on any one of these candles stops below these lows, like this is where you pass some decent challenge and make some crazy money, because the risk to return is 1 to 8. Risking 1%, this is 8% on any account. Wouldn't have expected that push, but inside of the macro, I realize we're holding this fair value gap. This would have been a beautiful trade right here. Beautiful trade. Depending on where you had your TP, like instantly price just decided to just run, you know, and beautiful trade, like I say, and that is where we ended the day. So currently we might continue up, but I'm not so keen on taking any entries because we're all the way up in premium right now, and I don't want to be taking any buys all the way up in premium price. So all the way up there, we're more likely to come back down. We could trickle up overnight, but not forcing any buys here. Just trying to stay disciplined and focus. If I miss the move, then I miss the move, you know? So that's the approach I'm taking, because I really need to recover this account. And to do that, I need to get some more precise entries, work on the risk to reward and the stop size, and try to capitalize on some good moves. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Thank you for subscribing. If you have any questions, any comments, just leave them in the comment section under the video. And until next time, peace.